the Bruins, and I won't say much on the Bruins other than the fact that they're sort of in the same position. Each and every week we talk about where the Boston Bruins are, and they're one of three places. Well, I guess four, whether they're in the third spot in the Atlantic Division, the first wild card, the second wild card, or sometimes even on the outside looking in. With the way the wild card race, Clay, is shaping up in the Eastern Conference right now, and with the way the Bruins have been playing as of late, yes, they did blank the Ottawa Senators on Thursday night 2-0, and
They won?
they did win. It was a good win, and without Jeremy Swayman there, Jonas Corposalo, who of course came over from the Ottawa Senators in the summertime in the Linus Olmark deal, played well behind the net, and the Bruins had a nice win after losing in a very, very poor game in New Jersey on Wednesday night against
they got killed
against the Devils. But anyway, Clay,
down.
if you look at the standings right now in the Eastern Conference for the wild card, there are teams that are separated between 1 and 2 points. Right now, where the Bruins stand at 54 points, 50 games played, 24, 20, and 6. 6, of course, stands with a 6 overtime losses, but you still get a point, of course. 54 points right now, 1 point in front of, the Columbus Blue Jackets of 53 points. And then, Clay, behind, we have a stalemate, really, with 3 teams at 52 points. We have the New York Rangers, the Senators, and the Montreal Canadiens, who are having a bit of a surprising year so far this year in the NHL. Of course, we got the Flyers at 50 points, and a couple of teams, the Red Wings, 49, the Penguins, 48, and the Islanders at 47, and the Buffalo Sabres, 41 as well. So, with about 2.5 months to go in the regular season here, a lot of hockey still left to be played, and this wild card race is going to come down to the wire here, and probably one of the last games of the regular season. And Clay, it just goes to show, if you get the second wild card, anything can happen in the playoffs. And if you're the hottest team going in there, like we saw with Florida 2 years ago when they beat the Bruins as a second wild card team,
hammer them.
Anything can happen. And, you got to face adversity throughout the year. And I think it's better for the Bruins to be in this position and not have, where they have been in a couple of years, first spot in the Atlantic Division, sort of getting not lazy, but a little lax in where they are. And I think it's almost better where they are now. They're going to fight to the finish, try to make the playoffs, and the team that fights the hardest all year and comes in the hottest and has a will to win, which we'll see if the Bruins have.
And a hot goalie, that guy Jeremy Swayman that you love so much.
Well, I never said that.
Yeah,
I never said that.
I know.
That's you. That's you.
Oh, no. I'm just driving the point that you're going to need a hot goalie, too.
Well, you certainly do. And we have continued to wait for that, and we haven't seen it yet. But now, if now is the time, I guess, if at any time, now is the time, the second half of the year here. But right now, the Bruins, as I mentioned, 54 points. They sit in the first spot in the wild card right now. They are 1 point behind the Tampa Bay Lightning for the third spot in the Atlantic. And Clay, surprisingly, too, we've talked about this bit of all year. They are just 5 points behind Florida for the second spot in the Atlantic as well. So, hey, listen, anything can happen in the NHL. Anything can happen in any league for that matter. But yeah. I think this wild card race can be very fascinating to watch down the wire with 6 or 7 teams going to be duking it out for both wild card spots in the Eastern Conference so far in the NHL. But for now, the Bruins back home this afternoon, 1:00 against the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado putting together a nice season out west. They just traded one of their star wingers, Mikko Rantanen, to the Carolina Hurricanes. 64 points this year and a great winger. But as it happens, Clay, no matter the talent, when there's a contract stalemate, sometimes the owner and the GM say, we're not going to take it and we'll trade you away.
Why couldn't we get a guy like that?
Well, yeah, at some point. And at some time we did.
Because he would have cost money, that's why.
Well, and that's what Colorado said, see ya. And they didn't want to pay him. So we'll see if that works out. But he's going to Carolina to fit in nicely with the Hurricanes team that continues to play well in the Eastern Conference. But
yeah, well, that's not good.
1:00 this afternoon. Jeremy Swayman did not play in the last game, as I mentioned, due to a lower body injury. And they're being a little bit optimistic. Cautiously optimistic that he'll be able to play this afternoon against the Colorado Avalanche.
Bruins, if you want Jeremy Swayman to be ready for the season, why don't you try signing him a couple of months before the season starts instead of the week of, so he never has time to practice with the team or never has time to come into the facility because he's not under contract, okay? Let's stop making all these excuses and blaming the player. You're more at fault than this guy. If you thought this guy was this good, you should have signed him way into the off-season and got him ready for the season. But instead, you waited till the last week, and obviously he was not ready.
Right. Well, We've had this discussion many a times
Well,
here.
I'm just
No,
putting it
no,
out
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. And so we'll see what happens as the Bruins make their way towards the trade deadline. And some folks saying the Bruins should, sell. We talked about last week. Cam Neely said he didn't really know which path the Bruins are going to be on, whether it's buying at the trade deadline and bring in some talent to help this team move forward, or sell some pieces and offload some pieces and sort of retool, which the Bruins really haven't been accustomed to in a
No.
long, long time.
I don't think they know how to do that.
So, and I agree with you as well, because it clear to me that Cam Neely didn't really know which direction the Bruins were going. But I will say, if the Bruins miss the playoffs this year or get another first-round exit, whatever the case may be, the path they do need to go on is a new general manager. And I do believe Don Sweeney should be removed from his duties. I've been saying that for many years now. I've never impressed with Mr. Sweeney, and so be it. He has remained in the good graces of ownership for whatever reason, and it's never been his fault. It's always been, whether it was Claude's fault, whether it was Bruce Cassidy's fault, and of course, in this most recent case, Jim Montgomery's fault, but never the finger, at least in public, was pointed to Don Sweeney. The coaches can only coach the players, Clay. It's Don Sweeney and the upper management that brings them in.
Okay, you've got that right.